Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
We are live. It is the AEW Collision recap heading into Forbidden Door, and there was an AEW show. And by that, I mean good in the ring action, wrestling wise. But man, the stories and the build up to a pay-per-view leaves a lot to be desired for me. If I was going to spend $49.99 on a pay-per-view, which I'm not, but if I was, the lead home for Dynamite and Collision, neither one of them would have got me to put a dime into purchasing this show. I'm calling up buddies and I'm saying, hey, you want to chip in? And I'm looking probably for 50 friends to cover the $49.99. I love the in-ring action of AEW, but there's just a lot to be desired on the storytelling aspect of everything. And this Collision was just more of that. You finally got Orange Cassidy and Ishii teaming up against TMDK. Zack Sabre Jr., who is Orange Cassidy's opponent. TMDK, he's the leader of that group. Nowhere at ringside to carry on the story. It's like boom, and then later on in the show, they do the promoting the show. Then they go back to Orange Cassidy, who's there now doing the promo, and then he's like, it's because Zack Sabre doesn't respect me. And then now Zack Sabre comes in and it's, oh no, I respect you. I just know the tricks of what you do. That to me is not selling a pay-per-view match. I mean, again, that's great if you want me to watch it on Dynamite on Wednesday. But if you want me to pay money to watch it, it get me invested in it. And again, man, they just did not, and forgot to, thanks everybody that's jumping on X. Appreciate everybody that's watching right now on Instagram. Looks like Sammy, Billy Fives it might be watching. He's probably already cut it off by now, I'm sure. But if he is, Mr. Fives, how are you doing, sir? But again, as I digress and I jump back into what it was AEW Collision, Jeff Cobb ends up becoming the third member of the Learning Tree team with the Big Bill and also Chris Jericho to take on Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shibata. Again, another match on the pay-per-view that does not really like, and I get it, you hardcore AEW fans are gonna like eat it up, but hey, that's what pro wrestling's about, right? Everybody, there's something there for everybody. You also had, let's see, Hechicero took on an enhancement talent, which I like the way, at least with Hechicero at this Forbidden Door, they've built him up in AEW. He's taking on MJF. He took on an enhancement talent. The only thing I didn't understand was, and again, going back to the storytelling of everything, is this. You start the match with Nigel McGuinness and them saying that the enhancement talent is a training partner of Daniel Garcia's. And this has been Daniel Garcia week in Buffalo. They recorded in Wednesday in Buffalo, and I think Friday was in Buffalo. They recorded everything on Wednesday. Hometown of Daniel Garcia. He gets an international title match. MJF has challenged him for All In. It's Daniel Garcia Love Week. This is the guy that he trains with. MJF has come out to help him. They had the Love Fest on Wednesday night. MJF is taking on Hechicero tomorrow night. Hechicero locks on his finisher and is just crushing this guy's shoulder. Nobody comes down to save him. MJF doesn't even come out. Daniel Garcia does not even come out. Again, little things that lead in. I get it. Where the best wrestle is what AEW says. And it, look, inside the ropes, again, I don't really have a lot of issues with the things. Some of the stuff they do is a little bit crazy at times, a lot of the flips. But hey, Hechicero locks on the finisher on Hanson Town, training partner of Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia comes out the next match like nothing's happened. Like, I just make it make sense every once in a while. I get it. You're where the best wrestle and you don't want to get into storylines. You want to be different than WWE and everything else, but you got to get fans invested somehow. And then Daniel Garcia takes on the Butcher, both from Buffalo. They have a good match. And then they hug it out and they leave the ring. And the Battle of Buffalo is won by Daniel Garcia. Then you go to Jack Perry. They're having a ladder match tomorrow night. Forbidden Door. Let's put the 6 contestants the night before. I get it. This is probably recorded Friday or Wednesday. But the night before, let's put them all in a 6-man tag. What can go wrong? Tell it differently a little bit to me. And then you have Jack Perry, who says he's not even going to be in the match, but then Christopher Daniels comes in and says, no, you're in the match or you're out of the ladder match. So, of course, he goes to the ringside area, starts the match, tags out as soon as the bell rings, and then it's Takeshita and El Phantasmo against Lio Rush, Dante Martin, and Mark Briscoe. Every once in a while, Jack Perry comes in to break up the count. At the end, Takeshita gets the pin. Jack Perry comes in with the belt, nails Takeshita. Phantasmo comes in, hits Jack Perry. He picks up the belt. Lio Rush hits him. Him and Dante Martin struggle over the belt. Mark Briscoe takes them both out. Everybody's on the ground. He's got a ladder. He puts the ladder up, climbs up with the TNT title, throws it down to everybody, and then jumps off the top of the ladder. There's all the contestants taken out. We got the ladder match tomorrow night. That's your buildup? To me, there could have been so much more done in this. You could have done more singles matches and then even had more interference from that if that's what you're going to do. I just feel like you're just wasting time. You also, in the middle of that, had Deonna Purrazzo, who I think they've wasted a little bit of her. She loses to Hikaru Shida in the Owen Hart quarterfinal round. So now Shida goes to the semifinal rounds, and then Purrazzo attacks her after the bell, and out comes Thunder Rosa to make the save. So now we still have Thunder Rosa against Deonna Purrazzo. And again, I feel like they have, I don't know what maybe the long plan is to do something Purrazzo, but at this point, I don't know what you're going to do at this point, man. Like, I feel like AEW was up here with the storylines and the stuff, and then it's just been a steady decline. And tonight, going into a pay-per-view, I felt like it was flat, man. It was flat. Then you have a weigh-in, and look, man, it's pro wrestling. Like we're doing weigh-in for what? It's not UFC. What happens if one of them doesn't make weight? What are we doing? There's no weight limits. And you had Swerve Strickland kick Will Ospreay's head off at the end of their tag team match on Wednesday night. If I'm Will Ospreay, why am I standing there waiting for a guy to get on a scale to find out he weighs 230 pounds before I take him out? And then they still did all the pomp and circumstances of holding up the belts and staring at each other, having the face off. That guy just kicked you in the face. Why are we sitting here having a face off? Like, I don't get what we're doing. Then at the end of it all, of course, Will Ospreay hits his finisher on Swerve Strickland, and Swerve Strickland is left laying as the cameras fade out. Will Ospreay holds up both belts, then lays the AEW heavyweight title down. Him and Kyle Fletcher leave. And it's Swerve Strickland trying to figure out where he is as we go off and we head into Forbidden Door tomorrow night. And they added a 4-way tag team match to Forbidden Door 0 hour during the Collision. It's going to be another, 1 o'clock in the morning? It's just, somebody needs to figure out with Tony Khan and say, hey, I get ratings don't mean what they used to mean in pro wrestling, but you used to have a 1.1. This last Dynamite did a 530 or maybe a 600. I get ratings don't mean as much anymore. But the fact that you've lost over 400,000, that means something. Hell, I barely graduated high school. I know that means something. You're not connecting somewhere down the line with the wrestling fans that want to watch the show. But the thoughts on Collision, good in-ring action as usual from AEW and their performers, their wrestlers, the men and women. But the storylines, the storytelling, I feel like it gets worse. But at least now they are at least trying to tell stories to at least build up individuals. But a long way to go for me. And again, Forbidden Door tomorrow night, I will be not paying the $49.99. I will be watching it. But if you're paying the $49.99, more power to you. But if you want to donate that money, my Zelle and Cash App running underneath there. So if I believe your $49.99 would be better spent there. But I appreciate everybody that's tuned in on the live stream on X, on Instagram. I see Nick Butler jumped in there. How we doing, sir? Don't know if you're still there, but appreciate everybody that was on And again, we're going to do these after each show. Raw will be the next one. There will be a stream of Forbidden Door. Thing is, I don't know if I'm not going to do it live because the show's not going to end till after midnight. And nobody's going to be up leading into a Monday morning at 1 o'clock. So I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to waste your time. But Monday morning, I will record it after the show and have it posted for Monday morning to take a look at. So please make sure you go to Stanley Media House Network on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Appreciate you all. In the words of the great Gordon Soley, so long from the Sunshine State.